for the protocol, I've been trying to find a B complex because the protocol basically includes a lot of different vitamins and minerals that you need for a basic function of the body that are relatively safe. And a safe B complex would be something that has no methylated vitamins because of its effects on the methylation cycle, which could make you very wired, anxious, and give you brain fog and such. And then it also needs to have relatively low dosages of certain B vitamins that could otherwise be toxic to the body. For example, something like vitamin B6, which I am not sure at which doses it starts becoming toxic to the body. I think at relatively high dosages that you take every day, it could be above 100 milligrams. But still, most of the B complexes I'm seeing and standalone vitamins, like if you look at a standalone B6 supplement, it might actually be close to 50 milligrams, which is kind of, in my opinion, is kind of ridiculous because I think the RDA it's under a milligram. I think I'd have to double check this. These 50 times, 100 times, 1,000 times RDA values on supplements, sometimes, I mean, they don't really make sense to me, to be honest. And I think it's not that good. So basically, I'm on the hunt for a low dose B vitamin complex that's also metal free. And it's quite a search, to be honest. First, because there's one good B complex, a supplement that's metal free. It's made by Seeking Health. And well, I could include this, but I would have to make the person running the protocol take this pill, this supplement, and basically only take 1/10 of it. So, and I mean, that's not really a viable thing, right? And there's also ways in which this could backfire because you're kind of not getting enough of the other B vitamins. Some are just dosed way too high. I'm still trying to look for a way out of this. You know, I'm very careful with these kinds of things because even though I noticed for myself B6 made a massive difference, and I think it's because the active form of vitamin B6 actually has a lot of, especially when you're wired, it's had a lot of benefits because it helps turning glutamate into GABA, the neurotransmitter for calm and relaxation. So when I was very inflamed and kind of stressed, I used to take at least 20 milligrams, it could have been higher than that, of active B6 per day. And then I started noticing just some weird kind of complaints. Like, I remember I was doing kickboxing at the time, and you'd have to kind of like get on your toes, you know, you put your toe into the ground to launch a kick. I was just getting these weird kind of pains in my forefoot. And they didn't feel like muscular pains. They kind of felt like some nerve pain. I was just wondering what could be going on here. You know, I was only like 24 at the time. And then I found out that higher dosages of vitamin B6 are actually neurotoxic, so toxic to your nerves and such. And I quit the supplement, and then this immediately, well, not immediately, but in a matter of weeks to months, this went away. And now that I think about this, I had a different kind of problem with my nerves. At the time, I was also taking the same supplement. I went snowboarding. You know, for skiing and snowboarding, these shoes are usually not the most comfortable. They're kind of tight on the feet, especially for skiing. They're way tighter. Snowboard shoes are still okay. So I went snowboarding with my new shoes. And after the first day, I couldn't feel my toes anymore. Like they were numb. I still had a second day. I mean, right? So I just went. And after that, I could not feel my toes whatsoever for like, it was at least 2 to 3 months. I couldn't feel them. I didn't really worry about it because I didn't lose strength or anything, and I knew it would eventually go over. But yeah, it did make me realize one should be quite careful with the amount of vitamin B6 that they're taking. And I then later found out that there's actually genes in the body that clear the amount, the active form of B6. So, and these genes can either be upregulated or downregulated. I was looking at my genes and I found out that I clear the active form of B6 way slower than standard. So that is probably, I'd have to double check the dosage I was taking. I think I was taking about 50 milligrams, which was about 35 milligrams of the active form of B6, which is way lower than the normal dose that could be neurotoxic. But even then, right, it was causing kind of weird complaints. So yeah, I'm at the moment I'm on the search for a good B complex to add into the protocol. I'm actually looking at some, because it's just B complexes are almost always also methylated. So it will contain the methylated form of B vitamins, which is the activated form, which will often, if you have tried this and you feel very good for the first couple of days, it means that your body did need some support of the methylation cycle. But what will often happen is that then after a while, this will backfire and you will actually get a lot of anxiety and brain fog. And this has to do with the fact that, well, first of all, you don't want, if you've been kind of sick for a while with these unexplained health symptoms, you probably have a massive backlog of certain, like, just neurotransmitters and other things in the body that need to be cleared first. And what you're doing by taking methylated B vitamins is you're actually like pressing on the gas pedal, which is good. It's not good. Well, it's not good, but it will feel good at first. And then because you're not actually clearing what you're creating and you're just adding to the pile, within a matter of days, depending on how inflamed you are, it will take more or less days. And then it will kind of it will backfire, cause I think it's called a paradoxical reaction. And then for me, I remember taking TMG, which is betaine, which is also a methyl donor. It works through the liver part of methylation, liver pathway. And then I was taking this and I felt absolutely amazing for about a week. And then I also crashed. I also get you start getting more anxiety and such. So yeah, when you are having these weird kind of like symptoms, backfiring from B complexes, I would say it could be good to first look at more of the clearance side and the loading side of sorry, I was just looking at how long I've been recording. At the clearance side and the loading side of things you're adding to the body. So say you are the loading side, the loading aspect, you are maybe, for example, eating a lot of instrument foods or there's actually also glutamate-rich foods that add to your load. There's also things in the body creating certain chemicals that will add to the load over time. The protocol will help you in this, like finding out things that could be causing this, finding out ways that you could use to reduce this, and then also help with the fly on the wall at the. I'm getting a bit distracted because there's things going on here and things going on there, and those matter though. And then look at the clearing side of these things, because if you're not clearing them efficiently, things will also backfire. And then when you've got these first two lanes, so loading and clearing under control, you could then start trying to fire up the system a bit more, right? And then you will slowly get better, for sure. I mean, I've been on this road for a couple of years now. I've learned a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes as well, but I think I am getting close to a way to solve these things, I hope. So thank you for watching and good luck.